Good evening, folks. It's Craig Montgomery again. So tonight I'm going to discuss an article that was written by a professor, black professor, regarding the real racism and where the violence comes from in South Africa. And I'm directing this information to the black population of South Africa. We all seem to be attacking the rhetoric that most of the blacks are bad people. The reality is most of them are scared. And I'm not going to take away from the fact that the farm murders are horrendous. The numbers are ridiculous. The government of South Africa is lying about the statistics. And as far as we are concerned, the government is complicit in what's going on. This was part of the ANC plan from 1993 and onwards, where they will systematically boil the frog slowly until they don't realize they're dying. And that's exactly what they're doing. Financial institutions collapsing. They just literally want to collapse the country to take it over. We're all well aware of this. So a document was given to me today, and I thought I'd bring it up. Let's go back to the history of the Nguni tribes in South Africa. Back when Shaka was around, and most of the northern Nguni tribes migrated north about 100 years before the whites were in the Cape. But the Cape itself was mainly populated by the Khoisan and the San people. The Nguni tribes moved south and then moved from the north to the south and also east, pushing them further and further out. The whites were there when they got there, but it was already agreed on land and stuff. So much of the narrative that you're hearing from Ramaphosa and Malema and this other guy from the BLF is nonsense. So let's talk about violence, about the black murder rate. Back when Shaka was in power, for 10 years he literally murdered 2 million people. Anybody that was around him, that was a threat to him, were murdered. He took concubines, and if they were pregnant, they were killed. And these are historical facts. When his mother died, he massacred about 1,000 of his subjects, so the rest of the people would suffer with him. Dingaan was no better. Let's go back to Dingaan and the Battle of the Blood River. Now, Ramaphosa made out that the whites shot the black people to steal the land. Absolute nonsense. These people were in a corral of wagons. Some 400 people stood up against an overwhelming amount of people, close to 10,000 Zulus. The Zulus came at them with assegais and spears and tried to attack them, and they fought them off and won that battle, killing close to 6,000 to 8,000 Zulus at the time. The narrative that they actually attacked the Zulus is wrong. It was the other way around. They were just defending themselves. Let's go to the present time. The narrative that the whites white population in South Africa are forming an army to attack the blacks and kill black people is an absolute lie, and the narrative is a lie, And I would like the South African government, Mr. Malema and Mr. Andile, to come to The Hague and prove their case overwhelmingly, and we will believe you, we will support you, but you cannot, because you're a liar. You're using the uneducated masses and lying to them, inciting them to murder people. For what reason? So let's go back. So let's go back to 1954, when South Africa became an independent country from England. England, in their great wisdom, had a class system which they stuck on the Boers as well. They started apartheid. The Boers took it over because it was part of the agreement. Having said that, think about this. Between 1954 and 1994, that was 64 years. So, no, I'm lying here. During that period, let's see here. During that period of apartheid, the life expectancy of Black Africans, South Africans, was 64, on par with Europe. Infant mortality rate was 174, which went down to 55 per 1,000 people. The African population in South Africa increased by 50%. During the apartheid era, 21,000 people died. But let's put this in perspective. 14,000 died between 1990 and 1994. 4 years. That was all. Between the ANC, IFP, and everybody that was fighting for power. 4 years. 14,000. So a total of 7,000 people died during the apartheid era. During the Defense Force operations in Namibia, only 600 deaths. So during the period 1990 to 1993, a total of 8,580, 92% of the 9,325 violent deaths were during the period 1990 to 1993. And these were caused by black people fighting black people. It was called black on black violence. Now, if I remember when I was a child, there were always faction fights between families. I remember in Kasunduzwayo, in Natal, there was a fight between two families. For 10 years, they killed each other for the simple reason they had a family get-together or a wedding, and somebody stole the traditional marijuana pipe or the dacha pipe. And this caused a massive fight for 10 years, and they killed each other all over that valley, right by the Mogantwini River, up on the hill. No logic, right? But it wasn't white people. So I want to tell you something as well. During the SADF conflict in Angola, there were the Colored Corps, there were Indians in the Navy, there were a lot of people in Kufut, 3-2 Battalion, and most of those people were black. They were fighting the communists, the same communists that are now running your country. And these are the same people killing your people. The same people lying to you that it's the white man's fault. No, it's not. These same white people have been there since the 16th century. What have they done most of their life but defend themselves? They have not asked for trouble. They have never attacked you. Never once. In all those years, the whites have never attacked you. Yes, is there racism? Yes, there's racism, and there's racism on both sides of the field. Do I agree with them? Absolutely not. We never agree with it. I've never agreed with it, and I don't think they do either. They just trying to live with you. The narrative that the land is being stolen from you, please, please, before you become a statistic in a war that you don't want, I want you to go and find out for sure who really owns most of the land in South Africa. It's the South African government, the ANC, and they're lying to you. And I'll tell you why they're lying to you. They're communists. The land reform does not say white land, it just says land reform. The reason being is that once they sign that document, they now own your land too. And they're communists. A communist means you do not own anything. They own it. Have you noticed the nice houses they live in? Have you noticed the nice cars they live in? Every politician that got into power, did he build a school? Did he put the road there? Did he build a new clinic? They only built a few toilets, terrible toilets for children at a school because one child fell inside and drowned. So they built terrible toilets instead of a nice building, a nice school with electricity, water, and decent toilets. No, they built an outhouse, a long drop, a hole in the ground. And they came and took pictures and rode away in their BMWs and said, oh, we did a good job today. No, they didn't. People vote these people out. The entire ANC government vote them out. Vote the EFF. Do you think during all these much violence that you've seen now with the EFF, just with Malema the other day shooting at his own people, do you think the future will be any better than what you have now? I'm saying you combine, everybody join, unite. There is good moderate people out there and educated black people. Please, you are all one nation. Every single child that was born in South Africa right now, right this minute, it doesn't matter if you're black or white, colored, Indian, you're all South Africans. And to all the racists and they're calling for the death of white people, we got your names. We know who you are. We know where you live. Why would you do this? Do you understand you're in the 21st century? That means there's satellites all around the world. Every cell phone you touch, every road you go on, every car you drive it, every place you go, somebody's watching. Do you honestly think we cannot find you? I'm asking you all, and I'm talking to you, Mr. Ramaphosa. You're a silly man. I vowed I would bring the world, and I'm bringing the world now. Many, many people are joining us now. And soon you will not have any power. Because once they put sanctions on your country, you will have no power at all but to run. And Mr. Zuma, he's got a house in Dubai. I'm sure Mr. Ramaphosa, you have one too. And I'm sure Mr. Malema, who never had a cent to his name before, suddenly he's got money to run away to. And do you honestly think we cannot find you in Dubai? I could tell you some stuff about Dubai, but I won't. It's not very safe there for you, and I can tell you that right now. Very easy to pick you up there. I can promise you that. There's nowhere in the world that you can hide. Do you remember Rwanda? What happened there? Nobody got away with that one. Look what happened in Bosnia. All the people that did the genocide there, the same thing happened. Everybody in South Africa, seriously, to all my black friends, all my white friends, everybody in South Africa, colored, Sand, Kuasan, Xhosa, Zulu, Sotho, everybody, listen seriously. Think about this. You have Tutsis telling you to do bad things. You have people raping your woman. You have no work. You have no money. Because of one group, small group, controlling you. The Gokos put their money in the bank, the VBS bank, I think it was. What happened? They stole the money. These people cannot be trusted. Try and find educated, honest people. Honest people. And when you vote the ANC out, arrest all the mayors, all the politicians, all the people that were in charge of your electricity that's selling your coal to the Chinese. Oh, did you know that they sold the rights to the ground to the Chinese? What does that tell you? That once they have your land, you are now becoming a communist country. You have no rights. They will control you by the gun. They will kill you when you refuse to do what they want. So in the statistics here in front of me, and these are facts, okay? These are facts. Please understand. For almost 200 years, you've had black on black violence because of one thing only. Your leaders set you up to fight each other, to take control and spend your money. And they don't build you up to be better. Why do you like white people's stuff? Because you don't have it. And you can't. And who's holding you back? The same people you're voting for all the time. And I'm not being racist here. I'm just being honest. These people are criminals. They put the money in their pocket. Chris Hani, he was an out and out communist, right? He said that once, before he died, he said that once the liberals get in power, they will steal the country blind and they will not help the people. And he was right. As these words are cold today, that is exactly what's happening. Most of the people in South Africa are suffering from rampant crime, rampant rape, rampant murder. You have the second highest murder rate in the entire world. Nobody wants to come there anymore because it's too dangerous. And you're killing the farmers. So that means you're killing the people that make your food. Go look at who really owns most of the land in South Africa. It's the government. They owned almost 70%, more than 70% of land that's not being used. So why go to the white man's land? He has to pay a bill every month, just like everybody else. He gets nothing for free. And he works from 4 in the morning till midnight most days because he's too tired. So think about it. If the government really wanted the farms, why would you go torture people? It doesn't make sense. They're not doing it to get the land. They're doing it to get the land for themselves. It's funny how their friends always get the nice farms. People, think for us, all, everybody. You can be the most powerful, the most productive, the most wealthiest country in the world if you unite. Mandela said that it could be the rainbow nation. And it was for a little bit until he died. And they put him in an icebox and waited for 3 months till they could sell his body to the TV people. What does that tell you about these people? These are criminals. And they're not there for you. Ramaphosa's lying. He's lying. And I have a challenge for Mr. Ramaphosa. Mr. Ramaphosa, you, Mr. Malema, anybody in your government that wants to prove that the land belongs to only black people, and listen to what I'm saying, only black people, then meet me in The Hague. Bring your case to the world. Prove your case or stop lying to the people. The narrative doesn't work. The land without reparation, taking land without compensation is a human rights violation. And right now, Mr. Ramaphosa, yourself, Mr. Malema, the Mr. Andile and the head of the police of South Africa and numerous other people on the list will be charged for crimes against humanity. Every murder that you have advocated, everybody that's advocated the murder of women, children, any white people in South Africa, and Mr. Ramaphosa, please don't lie to the people anymore, because nobody's listening. The United States is waking up to your lie. Many radio stations are talking about you now. Many people in Germany are talking about you. Many people in Holland, in Russia, everywhere. They know what is going on. I suggest you reverse this problem. And I suggest to all the people in South Africa, do not vote for the ANC. Do not vote for the EFF. Do not vote for the BLF. They are lying to you, because once you vote for them, they're going to take your land. You will not own nothing. They are communists. A communist country means you do not own anything. You are making the biggest mistakes of your lives. So most of your lives, you have fought each other, had nothing to eat, been hungry, set up, wasted, and attacked. It is time to live in peace. Stop this nonsense now. Don't listen to these leaders. They're lying to you. Walk away from Malema and watch what happens. He had a meeting the other day, and he didn't like what was going on. So his security started shooting his own people. He will do the same to you. Andile is just a racist, murderer. Every single person from the day he said, kill the white people, he is on his hands now. You, Malema, and Ramaphosa. Mr. Ramaphosa, you're supposed to be the leader of people. We have not heard one word to condemn the murders that happened over the weekend, or this day, or yesterday. Nothing. Not one word from you. How sad you are as a leader. South Africa, we are not going away. We're going to help you. No matter what happens, this will not go away. I said I was coming with the world, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. To the whole of South Africa, that's everybody, black, white, colored, Indian, Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, South Sotho, Venda, everybody. Do not vote for the ANC. They're lying to you again. For 24 years, you should have been living in better places, better roads, better schools. Please, for peace sake, stop now. I'm out of here.